Hey everybody, it's Dave. How y'all doing? I'm doing pretty good for Sunday. Pain's better. It's still there, but hey, I got nothing to do for 2 weeks. I can't really do anything. And that's because I had to redo the bones in my inner ear, my middle, with the eardrum, those three little bones. I had to reconstruct them. And yeah, still get some bruising here, and some over here, but that's okay. I'm a happy man. Like I told my doctor, I told her before the surgery I had one vertigo attack in 11 months, and she's like, "Oh well, do you want to try beta-histine?" And I'm like, "I can't take it." Remember? She goes, "Oh yeah." She goes, "Well, there's not much else we can do." I said, "It was only one attack for 20 minutes in 11 months. I'm thrilled." And she was like, "Oh, that's awesome. That means it works. It worked." I said, "Yeah." So that's not what I really want to talk about, but just a little bit of an update. What I really want to talk about is this thing where people are posting about taking synthroid or synthroid disorders, not synthroid disorders, thyroid disorders in Meniere's disease groups because they're kind of different. I mean, some of the symptoms are overlapping, but they're different. They're two very different diseases, and and there's been so much of it, and it's not just one person doing it. It's a bunch. But there's one woman I don't know her name, and I wouldn't mention her name because I don't have her permission, and I don't want to be mean. But um, I like what she posts, not necessarily because I agree with it, because she shows you facts. And that's what I like. I love that. She takes a screenshot of what she read, not in her own little words or making up her own little story. She's screenshotting what she read. Excuse me. And that's great. Because there are other people just post stuff. They don't show you don't show any research they've done. And then when you ask them questions, they don't answer you. This lady actually answers you. And comments and stuff. And she's very, very good doing that, and that's awesome. And she's doing a good job because she's bringing something up front. But the problem is that not everybody has a thyroid problem, and we all know with Meniere's disease, everything we're all different. So let's go over some of the differences here because I don't want people getting confused because there's a lot of new people out there and some new people can get very, very scared. I remember 2017 when I started joining these groups, I would see things and I would get scared. I mean, back then, we're going back almost 10 years. Somebody was running around in every group posting that if you had true Meniere's disease, you'll be dead in 2 years. I thought I was going to die. It's false. But, this woman was doing that. And it was crazy. And so many people were either scared or being assholes. So, um, and the assholes won because she was gone. Um, she was booted out of groups and everything. So, um, but yeah, people can get scared when they're new. So if they're seeing these things, they're like, no, maybe I'm this, maybe I'm that. No, 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 no. So let's talk about it. The differences. Okay, Meniere's disease is distinguished. How is it distinguished from thyroid disorders, primarily episodic vertigo? It's distinguished by episode. Meniere's disease is distinguished from thyroid disorders primarily by episodic vertigo, fluctuating hearing loss, and aural fullness. While thyroid dysfunction, and specifically hypothyroidism, can cause vertigo, can cause tinnitus, can cause hearing loss, it's typically accompanied by metabolic symptoms like weight gain, fatigue, cold intolerance, which are absent in Meniere's disease. Okay, key differences. Okay, Meniere's disease is characterized by sudden, intense, episodic vertigo, ringing in the ears, tinnitus, the feeling of fullness of pressure in the ear, which I have now from that surgery, the eardrum, fixing the hole in the eardrum. Thyroid disorder is often characterized by metabolic changes, including fatigue, depression, goiter. I've seen goiters. Goiters, weight changes, tachycardia, which I think it's something it's with your heart. Your heart races like that. And hypothyroidism, dry skin. I get that from diabetes. Because diabetes can give you dry skin too. As a matter of fact, I use that Gold Bond diabetic stuff. It works great. Um, Key overlaps and connections. Both conditions can present with dizziness. Okay, I'm dizzy all the time, and I got no balance function here, and we all know what this here does. But with Meniere's, vertigo is generally more episodic and it's disabling. You don't really get that full spin with the hypothyroidism. Because there's a difference between vertigo. Vertigo is you're spinning, the room spinning. Dizziness is that off balance equilibrium thing. Hearing loss. Hypothyroidism is known contributor to inner ear issues. Can produce sonaural hearing loss similar to Meniere's. Similar, not the same. Autoimmune connection. There are some studies that suggest a link between autoimmune thyroiditis Hashimoto's and Meniere's, where thyroid antibodies may influence inner ear fluid and phylactic hydrops. So there could be a link, because like I said before, they really don't know what causes Meniere's. And that's one of the theories, it's autoimmune. Okay, treatment response. Thyroid-related symptoms may improve with hormone therapy, whereas Meniere's requires specific inner ear management, like diet, water pill, things like that, surgeries, to manage that inner ear and get that going. Duration. Thyroid symptoms are often constant and progressive, while Meniere's symptoms seem to be typically episodic. That one I kind of, because my tinnitus is all the time. I got it right now, especially in this ear. But there's an easy way of finding out if you get thyroid issues is you can have your doctor do a thyroid panel, not just test for thyroid, but a whole panel. Okay, and it's a blood test. Done. By your endocrinologist, and an ear nose and throat doctor, or who I see as a neuroautoologist, they can ask for that too, and that's just to make sure. So there are differences; they're not the same. So typically, in my opinion, and this is, I'm not a medical person, but my opinion is that if you're taking a Synthroid and you're responding well to that, you generally don't have Meniere's disease. You have a thyroid problem, whether it's Hashimoto's or whatever other hypothyroidism or hyperthyroidism. You've got a thyroid problem. Because if you didn't have a thyroid problem, those pills would do absolutely nothing for you. They would do nothing. So, it's a good thing to get it checked. I'm not going to sit here and tell somebody, well, oh, it can't be that. It's very well you could be misdiagnosed. But do yourself a favor. Get checked. Don't listen to the doctors, the people who think they're doctors in support groups, or Dr. Google, or, Dr. Vinny Van Bats, or whoever. Go to your doctor. Talk to them. That's what they're there for. Okay? And do you get misdiagnosed? Yeah, it happens. Are there bad doctors out there? Yeah, they're bad doctors. Not all of them. Okay? There's good and bad in everything. And that's one of the things people don't understand. Is there's good and bad in every situation. It doesn't matter what it is. Medical, political, religious people, copier techs. I was a copier tech for 35 years. I know. Computer technicians. I was one of those for 25 years. Doing both jobs at the same time. And there's good and bad in all of it. There's good pharmacists and bad pharmacists. It happens. So, if you think you have a thyroid issue, it's worth getting checked out. Because like I said, you could be misdiagnosed. All right. So, excuse me, to the woman who does bring this up and show screenshots what she's read and researches, I love you. Okay? Because you're proving a point. And that's what a lot of us have to do. A lot of us just go right into, right onto our into Facebook and on our support groups, and we sit there asking questions instead of researching. Okay. Now, I'm not talking about AI specifically, but you can use non-AI in research and or go to PubMed or NIH and all these places and find all kinds of information. You don't need to ask a question in Facebook all the time, because you're going to get 120 different answers, and you're going to get people that are adamant that it's this and that. And they're going to start diagnosing you. And you don't want that. So I hope that answers some questions about it. Like I said before, I'm not going to say that you know hypothyroidism or thyroid issues aren't your problem, but there's a difference. There's thyroid issues. There's Meniere's disease. They're not the same. And a medication for your thyroid, which is hormones, isn't the same. Okay. So, and on that note, I'll talk to you later. Bye.